let's hear all about it. How did this start?
One day I was laying down and I was thinking about all the people that had in the last year or two had really shared their journey with me. Like Gabrielle Union, Michelle Obama with the Becoming book, um, K-Pac with him taking a stand for the Black Lives Matter. And what I found was that in that sharing of that journey, I connected with them. And I connected with them about things that I was afraid of for myself. I connected with them about things I doubted in myself. I connected with them in that they too were having maybe some of the same experience or had some of the same experiences. And it meant a lot to me. It really did. It meant a lot to me in my journey. And it also gave me the courage to want to say, you know what? If they could shoot their shot and bet on their self, I can maybe do the same. And so I wanted to bring this channel to everybody so that people can come on here. And part of it will be about sharing their journey, but sharing what it took for them to bet on themselves. It's not easy to bet on yourself. It's not easy to take that shot. Now, if you know me, you know I love basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the symbol of taking that shot is about, okay, sometimes you may take that shot and you don't have all the skills you need to take the shot. Sometimes you may, need to just take the shot at a last second notice. Sometimes you're gonna take the shot and you just know you're gonna make it and you're not. And that's kind of equivalent to how life is.
So true, so true. And I know that entrepreneurship, I love how basketball, because many people won't know that you used to play basketball in high school, I think.
Oh God, this is why you've known me over 26 years. Yes. Yes, I did used to play basketball when I was in junior high to high school. I did. I actually played, yes. So I'm not only using the metaphor, but I am a student of the game.
Yeah, you love the game. And I know that you love basketball. And one other thing that you do love is entrepreneurship. And I would call you a serial entrepreneur. So let's go down memory lane. So this is not your first creative gig or creative project that you birthed. Tell the audience, let's know about how did it start? How did you get this creative entrepreneurial spirit and the various projects that you've done?
I think the entrepreneurial spirit has just been something, it's just something in my spirit, maybe something in my DNA from like my father's side of the family, my mother's side of the family. Both sides of the family are, have a lot of entrepreneurship in it. I, just kind of took it and ran with it. I think I was like very scared and nervous at first when I first started. Like I think, my first business, I was like really scared. But over time, I was able to like, gain confidence and gain, like what I needed to do for myself. And it became like really, really important, to me to kind of learn from my experiences. And that is like, that was just so important.
I could remember, a few years after college when you started your first business, and I think it was a t-shirt business, and how you've grown from that. And beyond the t-shirt, you did a speed dating business, right?
My first business right after school was called Urban Peace Atlas. And it was a t-shirt business where I wanted to put things about conflict resolution. And so I got a machine, I got a heat press machine, and I was creative and I made these different things. And the whole point was to get the schools to use the t-shirts as fundraisers for like the Stop the Violence kind of movement. And it was a great idea in retrospect. I even don't tell anybody, I'm telling anybody, I even used some of my money from school to fund it. But at the time, I just didn't realize that, takes more than just the idea to make a business work. You know, with the monies and how long it takes for the money. So it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it, you know, it just, you know, continued to kind of like um propelled me though, even though I failed that first time, it propelled me to do another business. And with that other business came a business called All You Need Singles. You know, and at the time when I started that business, I had just broke up with my boyfriend that I was with for like 6 years. And I was hearing about speed dating. And I was like, speed dating? What's this? You know, when I used to hear about it when I was in my relationship, I didn't care. I thought it was crazy. But in those, that was, you know, in about around 2005, 2006, it had became like a big thing. And so I had decided that I was going to do this first speed dating event at a local restaurant that I have, you know, had a relationship with and eating there all the time. And, you know, we started that and we did that and it was fun. And, you know, we had a lot of people come out for that. But as it grew, you know, and I evolved in terms of what I was thinking about for the business, it was, you know, I realized that I really liked doing the event planning piece in general. And it didn't matter if it was just for singles, if it was for, you know, various different reasons. Types of people, different types of activities, different types of events. And so I basically, you know, did that. I, I decided to turn it into not just All You Need Singles, but a company eventually evolved to Mind, Body, and Social. And then with Mind, Body, and Social, I literally went up and down Harlem. So at the time, it was during the Harlem Renaissance. And I knocked on all these different people's doors. And I was like, you know, asking them, all these different business owners, is there any way I could help you to bring people into your business? Because they, you know, had just opened up. And I was able to do it. I worked with a tea shop, a wine shop, um, a soul food restaurant in East Village. It was, you know, an amazing journey. I met a lot of people. So yeah.
It goes to show your your creativity, your tenacity, and the various resources, and God-given talent that you don't want to keep it to yourself. You want to share it with others. Hence, this program that's happening right now, and I know that your viewers through the episodes to come will learn more about your talents, your skill set, and they will glean from it. They will use it in times to come. So this is excellent. I applaud you in regard to this, and you are a humble person. I know you want to tell the story of our McDonald's, whatever it is, fish 2 for $5, but we'll skip that and know that we came from some humble beginnings.
Well,
right?
I don't know if we should skip that, Gina, because I think that's an important part, right? I think that what people have to understand about the journey sometimes is that, you know, and I think that people do understand this, but I don't know if sometimes people see you at the end of your journey and they don't understand what are some of the things you have to go through during the journey. You know, there was times when I was like starving, like really, really broke. And you know, I was following my dreams in terms of my business, and I wanted to be able to give a full time and energy towards that business. And I couldn't work for anyone else. I had to do it on my own. And it was times when I will never forget these times when I would have maybe $2 or $3 to my name. And at that time, I thought, you know, I was one of those people that thought I was too good to, you know, get food stamps or any type of government assistance because, you know, even if I was broke and I was struggling. And so whenever I would get my little money, sometimes I had like $2, $3 in my pocket. And I would take that $2, $3 and I would get some pasta and I would get some tomato paste and I would get some mayo. And I would get a little can of peas because I was, you know, and I'll take that and that would be the best dinner I ever had.
5 star, 5 star.
It cost me about $3, $4, and I would make it last. And you know, and there was times that it was like that. And you know, with me and you, while we were going through our journey, it was times. One time I remember, yeah, like you said, we went to McDonald's and we had to split, you know, like a Happy Meal or whatever. You know, it was bad. You know, it was bad. You know, but we did what we had to do because we were on the journey. You know.
Yeah. The journey is great, and you know, in life, there's never a destination, right? We're always moving the goalposts, right? We think we arrived, but there's more to go. So what I've learned too is just to enjoy the journey. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, 60s, above, once you have life breath in the morning, just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Life is made for living, right?
Yes, that is true.
We met in school at Teachers College, Columbia University. We were getting our masters. One of the very few Black women in our class, probably the only 2 Black women in the class. And I was really excited about finishing the degree, going and getting a new position in my job. And then you chose a totally unconventional route of starting your own business when you graduate after school. I mean, what were you thinking? I mean, who goes to Ivy League school, pays for an Ivy League school, and decides to start their own business? I was like,
Natasha, I don't know what I was
coming.
I don't know what I was thinking. To be honest with you, I think, you know, as a woman and a Black woman and going to Ivy League school, you're told, like, you know, this is the cream of the crop, and, you know, what I had to do to even get in, what I had to do to graduate. I remember I almost had like a nervous breakdown. I remember, you know, calling my uncle. I would never forget this, because, you know, for our degree, you not only had to do all of the work in terms of getting for the credits, but then in order for you to actually really graduate, you still had to take this test, the organizational development test. And if you didn't pass that test, they didn't care what many years or what you had did, you weren't getting a degree. And I was like, oh no, I ain't paid, you know, almost 100, 80, 90, whatever we paid, thousands of dollars to come out here, and because I can't pass one test, not be able to get through. And I remember like literally like almost having like a nervous breakdown because I was like stressing so much about that exam. But you know, I did pass the exam. And then afterwards, you know, I think something that came up for me was that although I had this quote unquote privilege of going to Ivy League school, I didn't have any mentors around. I didn't have anybody around that, like, for me with the Ivy League brand that was like, okay, I'm gonna help open these doors for you. It wasn't enough as a Black woman to have the Ivy League brand. You know, at least not at that time. You know, I think it was also around a time where we were slowly, although we didn't realize it, going into, you know, starting to go into the depression in terms of the economy, you know, going down. And jobs were scarce, jobs were hard. And I didn't have any connects. And as I got out and I was trying to, like, you know, figure out what I was going to do and start applying for jobs, and I saw people left and right getting a job here and getting a job there. And it was like, you know, me as a newbie, even though with a master's, it was still like, well, you don't have any experience.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, but my experience is my master's. You know, how about that? You know, and it was like, nope, that's not enough. Nope, that's not gonna do it. And so, you know, what happened was that I just decided that, you know, I was just as smart as anyone else that could start their own business. And I said, you know, I'm gonna make a way for myself, and that's, you know, kind of what happened. And I said, I'm gonna make a way, and I'm gonna use this degree and the information that I learned to help me start my own business.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when you decided to start Mind, Body, and Socials. That was huge. You know, you were doing the events, and you know, you were struggling, and you just had a lot of things going there. And I was like, really, Tawana? But you know what? You persisted. And so, you know, kudos to you there.
Yeah, it was definitely a time with Mind, Body, and Socials where I really loved what I was doing in terms of bringing people together for events, whether it be for poetry reading or book signing or a wine tasting or just a regular party. Um, it was good times. I met a lot of good people, but there was some hard times during those times. And there was times when while you guys were working, and
Yes, yes.
I was like, oh my God, like what did I do? Trying to figure it out, struggling, at times. Sometimes it would be good and I would have some money, and then other times, it would be really, really bad and I didn't have any money. And I remember, I remember one time that I was able to put together this event. I remember that, the event didn't go off. Like I thought it would go off, and I barely like made ends meet for it to like pay for the event. But actually I didn't make all of the money I needed to, because at the end of the day I still didn't have enough money to pay for the venue. And I remember at the time, you were one of the last people around, while I was trying to clean up and stuff. And I was like literally in my mind thinking, oh my God, how am I gonna pay? How am I gonna pay for this venue right now? I have absolutely not enough money. And I don't know what possessed me, but I think it was just me feeling that I was comfortable enough with you. And I think I ended up telling you what was going on. And you were like, no problem, Tawana, no problem. We'll help you pay for it. And it was like, you know what I mean? And I mean, I think that's a part of the journey, that people show up and people come and people help you as a part of the journey, even when you don't know how things are going to happen for you. So, hey, Barbara.
Hi there, Tawana.
My partner in crime, as I call you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What we doing tonight?
Yes. So, Barbara, I met you like, I think it was like 2012 around that time.
Right.
And it was after I had finished kind of my journey with some of my entrepreneurship ventures.
Uh-huh.
And I was transitioning, actually back into like having to work for someone.
Okay.
And it, yeah. Do you remember that?
I remember the day that I met you at the Columbia University Alumni Center. You were looking for work. I had transitioned back to New York. I had moved back from the United States Virgin Islands. I'd spent 25 plus years there, and I wanted to come back to New York and continue my career. So that's where we met. We were both on our new career paths. And so we started talking about what you're doing with your work and your background in organizational development, and my background in public health. And we just started from there. And we've been partners in crime ever since.
Ever since. We just linked up and it was like, all right, let's make this happen.
All right,
yeah. And I never think that anything happens by accident, right? Because you were transitioning back from a very esteemed career where you were at,
right,
and kind of like transitioning into New York and trying to find your way here.
Right.
And I was coming, from doing what I was doing, which I had some success with that. But now, and then also trying to transition into like corporate America and figure out what I was doing. And so I felt like when we met, it was just like such good timing, in terms of being a good support system for each other. And I think that's important sometimes, like, right, when you're on the journey to look at who shows up, right, and when they show up and how they show up. Because oftentimes we don't pay attention to that. We're just so busy in our things, and it's like, I do believe that people come at the right timing sometimes for you, to help either show you the way, to help guide you, or to help support you. And it was a rough time for me, because I feel like a part of me at that time when I met you, there was a little part of me that felt that I had in some shape or way failed.
Oh,
You know, failed as an entrepreneur,
okay.
right? Because I have to go back to work for somebody,
Mhm.
right? And as an entrepreneur, the last thing you want to do is go and work for somebody,
Right.
per se. You know, you're used to working on your own. You're used to a certain schedule or making your own schedule. You're used to having a certain creativity
Mhm.
that you could bring to the table. And you know, I had to find a way to kind of keep that under wraps in a way, right? Because when you
Right.
go to work in corporate America, they don't necessarily value all those things.
Right,
You
right.
know?
I saw that. I mean, you know, what was interesting, T, I saw that it was really about a seeking. You know, you were seeking a new path, you were seeking a new way. You always maintained your interest in entrepreneurship, and I thought that was really kind of brave of you because you know I always did nonprofit work and stuff like that, and created organizations in a way which was also kind of a challenge and things like that, but your drive was still there. Even though things had changed for you dramatically, your drive was really contagious. And so even though you were going through these changes, you were always looking for ways to advance yourself, better yourself, and you kind of invited me along with you, you know, so we kind of supported each other like that, which was really very, very nice. Because I needed, you know, that so we were like each other's cheerleaders during this time, you know, and I thought that was really important to be supportive of each other. And it was an interesting time to be looking for work too in New York, as you know, pretty well established and highly educated Black women. You know, I think there were some challenges, but we were not phased by that. We just kept moving, putting one foot in front of the other, and seeking all the right opportunities at that point. You know, because I remember I went to DC. I telecommuted for a year. You know, and you know you wanted to do the other things that you needed to do. So you know we never really stopped. We always are looking for ways to improve ourselves. You know, always had to keep that picture of that vision of who we are, and what we want in our lives. And I believe that's what you were doing. And I think that's what we really always need to do. You know, no matter what other people think, we need to see ourselves and see where we want to be in our lives. I think that's critically important.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. And, you know, I think that also sometimes things happen to us and we're so caught up in the moment thinking, well, it's happening and it's not a good thing and it's not, you know, and sometimes things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember during that time, I had to actually go back and I started doing like, what do you call it, temp work.
Right.
And you know, and it allowed me, you know, you know, allowed me to get some, you know, bearings under my, you know, under my feet in terms of like, you know, getting my income coming in, but also, you know, just getting, you know, back into the swing of things in terms of working in corporate America.
Right.
And while that was happening, though, my mother ended up getting sick again with
I
cancer.
remember that. Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, you know, now a time when I thought, you know, I was trying to figure things out and feeling a certain way about not having the job that I should have, you know, this power, you know, broker job that I should have at this time with my education and with this and that. Now it wasn't such a big thing because not having that or not being in that position really afforded me the time to spend with my mother. And that time that I was able to spend with her and go with her to her doctor's appointment and be with that and be there really to her end, you know, because she ended up passing, was time that I would never trade for any big time job, making six figures, doing this, doing that at all, right? Because it was precious time that I got to spend with her.
Right.
And so, you know, I say this to say that sometimes in our journey, you know, things will happen to us and we would think, or we'll think that it's, you know, it's not a good thing, you know, or we're looking at our situations and saying, well, I should be here. But, you know, even though I was thinking I should be here, it was better that I wasn't there. Because if I would have been in some high powered job where Well, technically, if anybody would have looked at my trajectory, that's where I would have been. It would have been hard for me to take off. It would have been hard for me to spend that time with my mother like that. You know, I was literally able to be with her almost every day for like a good 2 months or so before she passed. It was a curveball. It was a curveball for me in terms of me transitioning from entrepreneurship, you know, into working. But it was a curveball that I rolled with. And, you know, sometimes when you get curveballs, you know, there's a reason for the curveball and you just have to roll with it. And it was like, you know, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? That was where I was supposed to be at that time. I was supposed to be in a position where I could spend time with my mother and be with her to the end of her cancer, her passing from cancer, and not have any regrets about not having the time to spend with her.
Right.
You know?
So that, I mean, you know, I think those are those lessons, you know, that really will either make us or break us, and we grow from it. And I think that was a blessing all around. You know, you were able to do exactly what you needed to do at that time, and you were quite fortunate to be able to do that.
So this show for me is about really inspiring and motivating other people to bet on themselves, even when they don't know if the shot is going to go in, even when they don't think that they can possibly make that shot because they have the worst skills. They don't know how to play. They don't, you know, they don't have it in them. They're tired. You know, anything you could think of as to why you can't take that shot and bet on yourself, right? I want this show to be that for somebody. I want this show to be to talk to allow people to talk authentically, to allow people to talk be vulnerable, you know, about the experience and really share. Ladies, make sure you continue to bet on yourself.